This is Moonshine and Music with Joe Shelton. Wait a minute, that's me. Anyway, we're going to bring you some inspiring songwriters, musicians, and maybe some side challenges and other stuff around the music industry. So stick with us right now, because the show is coming your way. Woo! Moonshine and Music starts right now.
Well, hopefully you're not too nervous.
Usually I am. Like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just, you know. so.
Welcome to Moonshine and Music. We are in Greenfield, Riley Park, socially distanced and in the open air for a live shoot today with my man, Boomer Hermus, also known as Nervous Hermus, from Nervous Hermus and the Buskers.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the show.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you on, man.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
So, like, you know, the thing is, I've been measuring how long I've known you by the length of your beard. Because when we met, I don't think you had one at all.
Nope, no. I was clean shaven. This beard just turned a little over a year, about a week ago.
So that would be that. So. There we go. That's about the. So, you know, at least we have something to measure it by, right?
Right. Yeah, I need to get one of those shirts that has the. I think I'm down to maybe pirate or a little past it, like not quite.
Like a measurement system on the shirt.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
It's like I know I'm shooting for Gandalf, so that's like way down here, I think. So.
Or what's the Dumbledore?
Right, yeah. Dumbledore, I think, might have even been a little bit longer than Gandalf, yeah.
Yeah, I think his was really long and then tied off at the bottom.
Yep.
Like, for another few inches. So, you know. But, you know, usually we start out this show trying to figure out a little bit about the artists and, you know, where they're from. There's a little bit of wind, so if the video gets a little shaky to everybody, that's actually natural wind. We aren't piping it in or anything. We don't have fans.
It's a gorgeous day out and nice breeze. So.
Yeah. So you know, where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
I was born in Wisconsin, about the town of Neenah, which a lot of people may not know where that is, but a lot of people in Indiana know where Appleton is because they love to go up there and play shows. So not far from Appleton. And then,
so kind of out in the middle of Wisconsin.
Yeah, about central east of the state, about 45 minutes from Green Bay.
So really cold winters.
Yes. So like, well, moderately cold, yeah. So it's like I consider it down here to be pretty mild. So
yeah, you're like this is the deep south. I don't know what you're talking about. I lived in Wisconsin.
Right. Yeah. It's like when we first moved here, I asked my dad, like, why does everyone sound like a cowboy? Because all I had to go off of was TV. So.
Wow. So how old were you when you moved out of Wisconsin?
I was 10.
10.
So and you may hear this through the microphone, but I still have an accent according to everyone around here.
A little.
But a lot of that's because I return often because I still have a lot of family up there, and it's really just to maintain this accent. Otherwise, it'll go away.
You go up just to maintain the accent,
right? We'll visit family too, but yeah,
it's not really the family. Don't let him fool you. It's really the accent. That's funny. Did you? I mean, was it his job or something that moved you down this way?
It was my dad's job.
What did he do?
He was working for a company called Hillrom, and they had merged with his old company called SSI, and their headquarters is in Batesville, Indiana, but his office was in Indianapolis.
Oh, so what do they do?
They make hospital beds.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
So and they work in conjunction with the Hildenbrand or Batesville Casket Company out there too. So,
I see. So, did your mom work too growing up, or was it just?
She didn't work until my sister went to kindergarten. Just because empty nest in the house, me and my brother in school as well. So, so she got a job at a school nearby as a cafeteria bookkeeper.
Really?
So, yep. So yeah, she's been.
So she was the one that like would always bitch at me for not paying my paying my lunch fees or whatever on time.
Exactly. Yeah, she'd be the one to send those emails or make those phone calls in the most cheery fashion as possible. So,
well, there wouldn't have been emails when I was doing.
Right.
I'm too old for that. It would have been pre-email days.
Yeah, you've gotten the phone call from Mrs. Hermus. So
Mrs. Hermus would have ate me up. I was always late. Luckily, I didn't go to that school. So did you go to school in Indy?
Yes. I did 5th grade over in the same school that she started her job at, and then did high school at North Central on the north side, up 86 and Keystone area.
Yeah, well, that's cool. So what did you do? I mean, did you learn to play music in school, or were you like in the band or a guitar player or something back then? Or
it was really I wanted a guitar for my birthday one year, or for Christmas even, and Ma thought it was just going to be a phase. So then come around my birthday that year, she's like, what would you like for your birthday? And I was like, same thing as I wanted for Christmas, a guitar. So that was 16th birthday, I got a guitar. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and I should be a lot better than I am playing since I was 16, but you know how it goes. So.
Hey man, we're all whatever level of talent that God gave us.
Right.
You can work hard at it and get better, but some people like they just grab the thing and it's insane, and other folks have to really work. So
yeah.
I never think about that. It's whatever. For me, it's whatever kind of art that you can make with it, not how skilled.
Right.
I don't know about you, but like there's some guitar players that like everybody celebrate, and I'm just like, yeah, he's really great, but I don't like the stuff he's playing.
Right.
It's not my not my thing. So
yeah, I get that. And then there's the you got your categories of virtuosos, like the argument to who's the greatest guitar player in the world, and you know it's John Petrucci, but other people may have a different opinion about that. So.
Other people may think Eddie Van Halen or Jimi Hendrix or
Satriani or Steve Vai too.
Right. So. Yeah, all those guys. I mean. I kind of feel like the greatest guitar player in the world is whoever's music you're listening to today.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I mean, do you feel like music isn't necessarily a competition?
It shouldn't be, but I get that notion every now and again. I get inside my own head, and it's just. And I try to remind myself even before getting on a stage, like this isn't a competition. We're sharing with each other, and trying to build each other up instead of doing the whole I'm better than you or you're better than me. So
do you look for your personal best? Do you compete against yourself when you're writing songs?
I do. It's I always try to outdo my last project, and that's where I get inside my own head a lot, and sometimes there might be a long period where I don't put out anything new, because in my head it's not as good as the last thing I did. So, but that's an interesting writer's block. Do you have something that you do special to get out, like when you have a writer's block moment? I do. I start watching music documentaries. Or even live performances, just things similar to like Behind the Music or something, or a music-based movie. And my favorite go-to is the movie Once, which became a Broadway musical years later.
Really, I don't think I've watched that one. So
it was a movie. It came out in 2006, and it was supposed to star Cillian Murphy, and it's a movie by John Carney, who is also famous for Sing Street or Begin Again and movies like that. But Cillian Murphy dropped out probably to do Batman or something, and John Carney's like, I still want to make this movie. So he called up his buddy Glenn Hansard, who is famous for Falling Slowly, which is where he wrote that song with his band The Frames, and had a whole list of songs, and that song ended up making the soundtrack and winning an Oscar for Best Original Song in a Film. So
wow, I need to check out that film. I mean, I do. I kind of like to watch film music documentaries too, And not long ago, I got wrapped up in the Eagles one. Have you seen that one?
I have not. No.
Oh my God, it's so long. It lasts like 6 hours.
Oh yeah.
It's really great, but it's like I started watching it thinking, this will be cool, because I came across it on some online on-demand service or whatever. I started playing it, and I was like, man, this seems kind of long. I didn't even look at the thing and how long it was, and I just kept watching it, and dinner came and went, and my wife's like, is that still going? Like, how long is that thing? I'm like, I don't know. And then I looked, and I was like, holy crap,
But even though it was like a lot of time, you still learned a lot though. And it's that continuous learning. And that's every experience you have is a learning point, and also other things that I'll do besides the documentaries is years ago I got a book called The Handbook for the Frustrated Songwriter, and what it introduced me to was immersion composition, what that is, and it's just it's really to teach you how to turn off that inner critic, write any bull crap that you think of, or just the simple my favorite one to use is just write something true, and build upon that. But with that immersion composition, I guess society, you could say, there's a lot of immersion writers. It almost seems prolific at times, but when you get started, it's really hard because you're trying to get over those mental hurdles, and trying to. And I still have a hard time with it too. Otherwise, I'd be pumping out 20 songs a day. But that's the end goal of that book your goal is to write 20 songs in one day,
wow.
Without that mental critic. And I think the most I've ever gotten is maybe 4.
Whew.
But
even that.
But that's still one song a week is a lot. For any songwriter. That it. For. I guess when you put it on average like that, but it's. I always try to remind myself, turn off that inner critic and just write something true.
So did you said you got a guitar at 16? When did you start writing songs? How old were you when you did that?
I would say I can almost pinpoint the day. It was either I think it was December 6th or 8th of 2007. Or 6. I had gone to see Ray LaMontagne on his Till the Sun Turns Black tour, and it was his second album.
I see you're repping Ray on your shirt today.
Yep. I felt it appropriate because I knew I'd be talking about him today. But but I went and saw that show, and it just blew my mind. It doesn't blow everyone's mind, but it blew my mind. Because he was just up there with a guitar and maybe a couple other musicians with him, like a bass player and a drummer, but not the whole time. But he was just up there by himself. He didn't talk much between songs, but his songs had so much impact. And after the show, I waited out in the snow because it was starting to snow. I was just at the Mirage downtown Indy, and waited for him. And he came out, and I didn't even get his autograph or anything. I just shook his hand and said thanks. And one of my buddies was totally fanboying out, I have all this stuff for you to sign. But great job, and mentioned a couple songs that he played. Thank you for playing that. I know it was hard to get through and all that, but that's when I decided I was going to write my own songs. So I had written a couple before that too, but that's when I really started focusing on writing good songs, I guess, in my own head. But
did you go to college? Were you just out of high school? Did you start?
I joined the military when I was still in. I joined the Indiana National Guard when I was still in high school, my senior year.
Okay.
And that kind of that was. I always tried to keep that life separate from, I guess, my music life, and sometimes they kind of converged. One of my deployments that I went on, I ended up writing pretty close to 2 albums worth of materials just in the off hours. I had a guitar shipped over to me, and just when I couldn't sleep, I would sit up and write music.
Where were you on deployment?
The first time was Afghanistan, and the second time, other veterans wouldn't really consider it a deployment. I'll call it a mobilization. We went to Kuwait for a year as well, so a couple of years after that. So,
wow, that's some hardcore. You didn't go to some air base in North Carolina. You were.
I was over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did that? You said you wrote a lot of songs on the tour. Did it really influence the songs that you wrote?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Or-
And I had this idea in my head that I was going to write like a couple of volumes of music. Just called it Songs from the Stand or something like that, or Volume 1, Volume 2. And here we are 10 years later. I ended up releasing an EP back in May. It was like a little quarantine project just because we were all staying at home. And I decided on the name Letters from Stan. To kind of, you're like, okay, these could easily be letters I wrote home to people. And, and because that's one thing I did do. Like I refused to do email and any of that. I just handwritten letters just that way there was something to keep in my hands when I came home.
That's classic too, soldiers being off and writing on, putting pen to paper and sending something home. That's, that's in the great tradition of, of world history, really, So that's kind of cool. I like that. Not shortcutting it when you're
right.
when you're in that situation, what songs do you want to play for us today on this program? We can play a couple songs and.
I'm going to play a song called "The Day After Armistice," which I actually wrote that back in November of 19, and I wrote it the day after Veterans Day, hence the name Day After Armistice.
Okay.
And then I'll also play a song that I wrote for, I guess you can call it a quarantine song. It's called "Tunnel of Trees." That I'll sing.
All right, cool. You ready to play those for us?
Sure.
All right, we'll be right back here on Moonshine and Music with Nervous Hermus.
I'm Nervous Hermus, and this is called "The Day After Armistice." I'll try to make it out of bed. One foot down, I'll try again. Free the nightmare from my head. Sometimes easy now and then. Don't go that way with me. You don't want it. I don't deserve it. Under the full moon, I scream in vain. I'd have you know it's been rough. I don't think I deserve your thanks. I never thought I did enough. Try to make it through the hall. Pictures and medals hanging strong. My bane beside me should I fall. I'll be fine, I'm hanging on. Don't go that way with me. You don't want it. I don't deserve it. Under the full moon, I scream in vain. I'd have you know it's been rough. I don't think I deserve your thanks. I never thought I did enough. I'll try to make it through the door. Outside they smile I cannot bear. It's guilt in life and wanting more. There's guilt in knowing people care. Don't go that way with me. You don't want it, I don't deserve it. Under the full moon, I scream in vain. And have you known it's been rough? I don't think I deserve your thanks. I never thought I did enough. The world keeps changing, I stayed the same. I didn't think you'd understand, but you keep trying. I'm gracious, appreciate your helping hand. Thank you. This one's called The Tunnel of Trees. It's dedicated to those that are in recovery and extroverts who had a hard time staying at home. Do you need an escape? Are there things keeping you away? Do you feel like no one knows? Are there things making you exposed? Raspberries blossom in the field. Apples fall to my heels. You're welcome along for better health. You're never too weak to ask for help. Home is halfway up that hill. Ensure you slow down for the turn. Go on through that tunnel of trees. I'll meet you at the end of the road worn. Let me put your mind at ease. Nothing's easy that's meant to be. I could go through all cliches. You know I wanna hear you say, home is halfway up that hill. Ensure you slow down for the turn. Go on through that tunnel of trees. I'll meet you at the end of the road worn. Ooh, you can't get better if you don't reach your hand out far. You will get better. There are those that know you're a star. There are those that know you're a star. Oh, home is halfway up that hill. Ensure you slow down for the turn. Go on through that tunnel of trees. I'll meet you at the end of the road worn. Ooh, yeah. To the tunnel of trees. To the road that's worn. Thank you. Thank you.
Moonshine in Music is a presentation of Notlehs Entertainment. Copyright 2020, all rights reserved. The producer for today's show was Joe Shelton. Our cameraman, grip, and stunt double was Brent Lee Smith. On cameras and all sorts of other things, Bailey Shelton. And our staff guru is Brent SCHLEMMER. Join us each Sunday for new episodes right here with Moonshine and Music.